Live from the Xfinity Studios at WVON. We're your original social media. You're listening to Art Chat Daddy Sims on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Chicago, 1690 AM, WVON. You're listening to Real Talk, Real People. I'm your host, Art Chat Daddy Sims. It's the Wednesday night edition of your favorite entertainment magazine show here at VON, where we talk about a little bit of this and a whole lot of that. But you know what it is, right? Yep, it's happy hour. So you should have your beverage of choice. We do not care what it is. And if you're at work, continue to do enough work that you're able to keep your job, but keep listening to Real Talk, Real People. And with that being said, I'd like to introduce you guys to our very first guest this evening. She's an amazing woman. I've had a chance to chit-chat and talk with her just a little bit before she came on. She is the president and CEO of Wellness House. There are two locations, one in Hillside and now one in Chicago, correct?
Hinsdale.
Close.
They're both H words.
Yeah. Train ride.
And they're both west.
I love you so much. Jeannie, Cella, correct?
Cella, yes.
Cella, yes. I don't know why. I had it right and then I messed it up. And, it does. I do that. But just forgive me. I love you so much. How are you this evening?
I'm great. It's great to be here. Thanks, Art.
Beautiful. So now do me a favor. Tell us all about Wellness House and all of the beautiful things that you guys do for people that are in need.
Aside from my 4 children, Wellness House is my favorite thing to talk about.
My goodness. One would never know you have 4 children. You look
yes.
amazing. Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I will tell you, Wellness House is my second favorite thing to talk about.
Okay, good.
So I'll tell you my story, which weaves into the beginning of Wellness House. Wellness House opened its doors in July of 1990. I started as an intern. I had gone back to school to get a counseling degree in 1989, and I started as an intern in August of 1990. So I was a returning adult student.
Sure.
I came to Wellness House because I had been sitting at my kitchen table. I live in Burr Ridge, a suburb south of Hinsdale, and read an article about this cancer support organization coming to Hinsdale that's going to provide free services to anybody affected by cancer. In that moment, and it was one of those situations where you know where you were when Kennedy died, or do you know what I mean?
Right.
So I remember distinctly sitting at the table. My mother had died of stage 4 lung cancer 15 years prior.
Wow.
I had just gotten married. I was 22 when she was diagnosed. She lived just a short time after. And she was my best friend.
Sure.
And when I read about this place coming, I thought, oh, my God, I could have used that. I could have used that when we were going through that. My family could have used it. So I immediately went there and found out that I could help out. And so I started working there a month after they opened as an intern.
Okay.
We were tiny then. We had a 1,100 square foot house in a small lot in Hinsdale. Within a year, because of the popularity of the program and the way people responded to this free support services for cancer patients, we knew that we needed to get bigger space. So we took down the 2 houses that were on the property that we opened on, and through entirely through donations of goods and services, contractors, electricians, plumbers, you name it. This 7,000 square foot house was built by donated services.
Wow.
All donated services.
Okay.
So we built a 7,000 square foot house, and it looks like a house in Hinsdale. And provided programs all through the 90s. And then in the early 2000s, we put an addition on. So now we're twice the size. We're about 15,000 square feet. And we added a fully equipped kitchen where we do cooking classes, nutrition programs for cancer patients. We have a gym in the lower level where we do exercise classes. We have a large room where we can have 100 people in and do informational programs like doctors can come in and talk about the effects of chemotherapy or the latest treatments in surgery.
Okay.
And then support groups and programs for kids who've been affected by cancer. Either they've had cancer themselves or their loved ones, mostly a parent has cancer. Stress management programs. So everything we do at Wellness House is to prepare and empower people to fully live life with cancer and beyond. Because we know it's possible. We know that if people are empowered with information and can feel like they're taking back some control of their life after being sent this monkey wrench of a cancer diagnosis where they don't know where to go and what to do, and they don't even know the language to speak. It's like being dropped by a helicopter in the middle of Africa in a forest without a roadmap, and how do I get out of here?
Right.
So that's what it's like for a lot of people being diagnosed with cancer. And it doesn't even matter what your education level is. If people haven't experienced cancer in their family with a friend, it's a foreign language. It's a foreign experience. You don't know what the word metastasis means. You don't know what a tumor is. You don't know what sarcoma means. There's all kinds of things about the language that goes along with it. So that's why we're here. We're here to help make the landing a little softer once somebody is diagnosed, and then keep it that way. I'd like to. Can I say one more thing?
Sure.
I know you want to get a question in.
No,
I'm happy to answer.
No, you're handling this.
But I want you to know, and I want your listeners to know, especially, that we have been so fortunate to be able to serve. Oh my gosh, we've served over 40,000 people throughout the years we've been open, and it's 29 years. We're going on 30 years. Mm-hmm. But about 5 years ago, we took stock as a staff and board of Wellness House, and we said, boy, these people that get here are lucky people. It's free. They can drive there. There's free parking. It's a wonderful location. It's kind of, in the middle of the Chicagoland region, so by expressways, it's easy to reach. But what about people that can't get here?
That's right. Yes.
What about people that either don't have a car and can't drive here, or don't have access to public transportation, or don't want to come to Hinsdale for anything, or too sick to come this far from another area? Well, how are those people getting help? How are those people getting empowered and educated and supported to fully live life with cancer and beyond? And so we took a pause and we said, wait a second. We don't have to build buildings. I mean, it costs a lot of money to operate a 15,000 square foot building.
Yes, it does.
Even though we built it with donated goods and services, we have to maintain it. It costs a lot of money. And we thought, how can we do this in a more cost-effective way? So let's create partnerships in areas that are underserved. And we've now got about 17 partners across the Chicagoland area. But the one I want to talk to you about today is our newest partner, and it's our biggest partner. And we have big plans for working with this partner. And it's with UI Health and the Miles Square Federally Qualified Health Center, which is on Roosevelt and Wood.
That's right, in the Holman area.
Yes. Okay, you know exactly where it is.
Area. Absolutely.
So that is the medical district. There's Rush Hospital, there's the VA, there's Stroger, and then there's UI Health. Mm-hmm. And so there's a lot of people getting care on that campus, but there's no psychosocial support program going on in that area that is sort of freestanding. And so the people at UI Health reached out to us. They had heard about Wellness House, and they reached out to us and said, hey, we are noticing what you're able to do in Hinsdale, but we could use some of that here. Can we talk? And so we met with them, the people at the University of Illinois Cancer Center. And we started doing some programs in their outpatient center, mostly with head and neck cancer, a lot of cancer that is caused by smoking. That's a huge impact in the African American community in particular, because they're diagnosed later usually, so they're at a later stage. It's not that dissimilar than my own mother's experience. She was diagnosed late, and your chances of recovery are just much more difficult.
Okay.
That was a long time ago. It's a better picture now. It's a better recovery picture now.
Okay.
So we started working in that clinic, and then the survivorship part of UI Health, which operates out of the Miles Square Health Center, came to us too and said, wait, we want to do something bigger. Let's work together and let's build something bigger and let's grow it according to the needs of this population. Let's start with some of the things we know are tried and true, like, what you eat matters.
That's
so let's try to do some educating about healthy foods. Let's do that. How you move your body. Moving your body matters. How you move your body matters. How you manage your stress. And we can do that with things like meditation, Tai Chi, yoga, all that stuff matters. Let's start with some programs. We're now doing about 40 programs a month at the Miles Square Center.
Wow, right here in the city.
Right here, and it's open to anybody diagnosed with cancer. They don't have to get their care at UI Health. They could come from Rush. They could come from the VA, Stroger, it doesn't matter. They could come from anywhere.
Okay.
And they're welcome to come to the programs. And the best way to find out about those programs, because this is the simplest way for me to talk about it on the program, is to just go to wellnesshouse.org.
Okay.
Wellnesshouse.org, and to ask for information. Because we can direct people wherever they live to the closest place that has the kind of programs that they might be interested in. I mean, we both know somebody who had a husband who died of a brain tumor.
That's right. We do.
We know somebody, and we know that, and they're a young couple. So there's some specific things that are going on with a family like that. Well, what do they need? Well, they might need something different than a 70-year-old man who has stage 1 prostate cancer.
Okay.
Do you follow me?
Sure, I get it. So you actually customize each person's particular situation to help them the best way possible.
You are a good listener.
See
Absolutely.
there?
Absolutely.
See there? I know what I do. See?
That's exactly what
Yes.
we do. We listen to what people are going through. We don't say, Art, you've got bladder cancer, so you should go here. You should go to this group and then go to this class. No. We say, Art, tell me about yourself, Art.
Right.
We know you have bladder cancer. Well,
Sure.
hypothetically.
Yes.
Tell me something about yourself. Tell me who you love. Tell me who you live with. Tell me what your family situation is. Tell me where you work. Tell me what you like to do for fun. Tell me what you like to do to relax. And once we get a picture of who you are, tell me what is stressing you out.
Right.
Tell me what keeps you awake at night. Tell me if you have pain. Once we get a bigger picture of who you are, we can pick from a variety of cancer programs that we have.
Nice.
We call them psychosocial support programs or informational classes. And we can craft an idea for you. We can say, Art, we think this is the best way we can help you at this time.
Well, while we on commercial break, you getting ready to help me, because did you say stay awake at night? Did you say all of that?
Yeah.
We can, you really, and that's what you do. You customize these programs to help the individual.
Yes.
Now, do you also help caregivers?
Yes.
Hold tight. We'll be back after this commercial break. Don't go anywhere.
He's charming. He's funny. He knows everybody. He is Art Chat Daddy Sims, and he's only on WVON.
24 after the hour, right here on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM, WVON. You're listening to Real Talk, Real People. I'm your host, Chat Daddy. It's the Wednesday night edition of your favorite entertainment magazine show here at VON, where we talk about everything. Yes, we do. We're an entertainment show, but we hope that you take away a lot of great information from this show. And as you guys all know, what is it? Yep, it's Happy Hour, the happiest 3 hours of radio ever. Whatever the stress and drama of your day, we ask that you please let it go. Sit back, relax, and enjoy tonight's show, which we have a really impressive show tonight. Right now, my good friend Jeannie is here, and she's the president and CEO of Wellness House, 2 locations. There's one now on the west side of Chicago, and what we're trying to do is get as many of you as possible who have been diagnosed with cancer. You might be the family member of someone with cancer. You might be the caregiver, whatever the case may be. And being a cancer survivor myself, it's all about physical, mental, and spiritual attitude. You've got to get it all in sync. If one of them is off balance, then the rest of your life is off balance. And so, Jeannie, you've really explained just so many things that have touched me in many different ways. And really, when you are going through it, people don't understand the sleepless nights. They don't understand the mood changes. They don't understand, diet differences, things like that. Again, when somebody says to you, you have cancer, it's just shocking in so many different ways. And so what support do you provide to families and caregivers at Wellness House?
I'm so glad you asked me about that, because I wouldn't want to forget to leave them out. There are some people that call family members survivors as well. Now, I let people call themselves what they want to call themselves. I don't want to label anybody a name like survivor if that doesn't fit for them. But the truth is, cancer is a family illness. It affects everybody going through it in all different ways. So obviously the person going through it, it's their own health that's at risk. There is the loss of identity. Let's go back to the young man we know with the brain tumor, a 38-year-old man. He's got a job. He's got a wife, probably thinking, I want to have a few kids. I want to raise a family. All those dreams of a future are all now at risk of being lost. And so now, who am I if I'm not that? And that's just one example of a person of that age. But everybody knows who they are as an individual until they're given that diagnosis, and then everything shifts.
That's right.
And they have to decide, well, now who am I? And what we try to do at Wellness House is help remind people they are who they always were. They might be entering a new normal.
That's right.
A stage of life that's a new normal for them. And the sooner they can get to that realization that living, a carefree life, like most of us that haven't been diagnosed think, well, we're going to live forever until you get to a certain age, and then you start to realize you're not. But,
right.
Most people live that way, that they'll just go on forever. But a cancer diagnosis is like, I may not live forever. And so now I'm going to have to live my life with kind of an awareness of that. And so how do I live my life differently? And I'm glad and honored that you shared that you're a survivor yourself.
Sure,
so
absolutely.
You know what I'm talking about.
Sure.
So that's a long way of saying that. That's what the person that has cancer is going through. But the spouse, the significant other, the best friend, the mother, the child of the cancer, of the person going through cancer, their life is also now shifted a little bit because the person that they love to death, in whatever relationship it is, now they're threatened. Their life is threatened. No matter if you're diagnosed stage 1 to stage 4, most people think this is a scary thing no matter what stage it is.
That's right.
And so they start to feel that there is a threat here, that life isn't going to go on the way I thought it was. And so the loved ones feel the same thing. And so they are also going through a process of a grieving of the loss of the husband who was healthy.
That's
and
right.
who I had this dream of having my family with.
Sure.
The loss of, well, who am I now? And especially if something happens to my loved one, I'm a young woman. What's going to happen to me? Will I have children? Will I have another relationship? what will I do for a living? There's all these questions that come up. And so we try also to bring in the family members to get support as well. And one of the things we've learned at Wellness House is more often than not, if the cancer patient and the significant other both come to Wellness House and want to be in a support group, we put the cancer patient in one group, and in a room down the hall, we put the family member. Mm-hmm. Now, they're facilitated by licensed therapists.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
But the reason we separate them for this hour and a half is because oftentimes the person with cancer will breathe a sigh of relief. Oh, finally, I can talk to you. I'm so afraid if I tell, Marilyn that I just got my cancer's back, I know she's going to freak out, and I don't know who to talk to about it. Or I'm afraid I'm going to die, and I don't know. I'm so worried about Marilyn. I'm so worried about what's going to happen to her. Mm-hmm. But I have to talk to somebody about it, and I don't want to talk to her right now. In the room down the hall, Marilyn is saying, I am scared to death my husband's going to die, but I can't bring that up. I don't want to scare him.
That's right.
I don't want to make him feel worse than he does. So they need their own support. Mm-hmm. And what we hear often is the caregiver will say, well, I'm just here to learn what I can do to support my spouse. And we try to help them realize that's great, but you need support too. So we're here to help you get the support because you're waking up in the middle of the night. You're having anxiety. You might be depressed, so you need help yourself in going through this process.
I love it. I do. I really, really do. All right, when we come back from break, you're going to have a walk-a-thon, and then we're going to try to encourage these people to come and be a part of Wellness House. I'm all for this because we live in a very stressful society now. Believe it or not, we have more and more people who are being diagnosed with cancer. If we look back 40, 50 years ago, we didn't hear much about people and having cancer. And if it was a few types of cancer. Now there's from the tip of your head to the tip of your toes, top of your head to the tip of your toes, there's some form of cancer people are battling. And so we'll talk about that when we come back. You're listening to Real Talk, Real People. I promise you we'll be back in just a moment.
He's charming. He's funny. He knows everybody. He is Art Chat Daddy Sims, and he's only on WVON.
I'm not the baddest chick you like. It ain't my fault that I'm out here getting loose. Gotta blame it on the boots. Gotta blame it on my juice, baby. It ain't my fault that I'm out here making news. I'm the put it in the proof. Gotta blame it
35 after the hour, right here on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM, WVON. You're listening to Real Talk, Real People. That's my girl Lizzo, and that's Juice. I love that song. Blame it on the juice. That's what we do on this show. Blame it on the juice. It's happy hour here, right? So you should have your favorite beverage. We don't care what it is. And if you're at work, continue to do enough work that you're able to keep that job. Don't blame that on the juice now. If you blame it on the juice, that means you're drinking at work. So you can't do that now because we want you to keep that job. All right. So we're back here with my good friend Jeannie, and she's the president and CEO of Wellness House. And we're talking about when you've been diagnosed with cancer, you just don't know what to do. You were so right, Jeannie, about just the terminology in itself. I had no idea. I really needed an interpreter back in the day just to say, now, what does that mean? and what is my count? And so Wellness House is a place that you will come to. You'll be embraced. You'll be loved. You'll be helped any way possible that's necessary to learn, not only you as the patient, but your family members, your caregivers. It's kumbaya under one roof. Is that how we all say that? Kumbaya. I just gave you a new title. Kumbaya under one roof. So you have a wonderful walkathon coming up.
We do. On May 5th, we're having our biggest fundraiser of the year, which is a walk for Wellness House. It's happening in Hinsdale, and we'll have about 3,000 people on our campus grounds. And I think I can't believe this, Art, but I don't know if I stressed the point enough that all of our programs are free. All of them are free.
Everything
is free.
Wow.
To people who need us. So how I say everything is free, and it is, but it costs something,
That's
as
right.
you know.
Yes.
And so we have to raise money. We have to raise money, and we raise money every year from individuals mostly. About 2/3 of the money we raise is because generous people reach in their pocket and give us money, either because they come to a walk, they come to a ball, or they just write a check to us. So we're fortunate enough that we have a lot of people that support us and literally carry Wellness House on their shoulders. So that's what's going to happen on May 5th. We are going
Which is Cinco de Mayo, by the way.
Which is Cinco de Mayo,
That's
yes.
right. It's
yes.
Cinco de Mayo that same day. So after I get through walking, maybe I have to have a margarita. Okay, yes.
So anyway, people can register by going to wellnesshouse.org. And the whole idea of this event is to build teams. And so for me, for example, I thank you for asking me about my own experience, and I shared my mother dying of cancer. And so I have a team. Celebrators is the name of my team. And
Nice.
every year I send emails out to everybody I know and ask them to either come walk with me or donate to my team. So that's what people can do. They can go on our website. I could put a plug in for the Celebrators. And they can either make a donation to Wellness House or they can register and come walk with us. And it's in Hinsdale on May 5th. Registration starts at 7. We'll get a program at 8. We're going to start at 8:30, and it's a 3K and a 5K. Some of it is timed. If people want to run and beat everybody else, they can do a timed run, or they could just walk through the neighborhood in support of people fighting cancer and getting support to go through their cancer experience.
Wow, I think that's so beautiful. Really, it is. You know, April is Minority Health Disparity Month. And so do you know of, any particular cancers that we as African Americans, I know you said throat cancer. Are there other cancers that we're, kind of leading, and I hate to say it like that, leading the pack in? I'm sure you see a lot of various types of cancers, but are there any particulars that we as African Americans are leading?
Well, this is what is true, and that African Americans are diagnosed later than other populations. So that means, as you know, the sooner you get on top of any illness, the better. So they're diagnosed later, and their mortality rate is higher. And it's not a biological phenomenon. It's socioeconomic. It's access to good health care. There's all kinds of reasons, but it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be, and so. With the involvement of a place like Wellness House right here in the community at Miles Square, hopefully we'll have more people from the community will have access to information, like, what help me understand what a recurrence what I'd feel like if I got a recurrence, or help me understand the side effects of chemotherapy. Help me understand how I talk to my kids about this illness. So there's all of those things that can help people be better educated about what they're going through. And that process helps people feel more empowered, like, well, I can handle this. I can do this thing called cancer.
Yes.
It's not a monster in the closet. I've opened the closet doors and I've let the monster out.
Right.
And I can do this.
Wow. Will there be other wellness houses as we go on down the future? Because really, I can see this outreach stretching way beyond just the west side of Chicago. I'm sure we could use this on the south side, the north side, So are there plans to continue branching out?
So we have 17 partner sites. I talked a lot about UI Health and Miles Square because it's our biggest partnership. We also have programs at Mercy Hospital right here in the pretty much in the neighborhood. And we've got some programs in the northern suburbs, some on the north side of Chicago. But what we're doing here in this community at Mile Square is sort of the biggest footprint outside of Hinsdale that we have so far.
Good.
And we really, really want to build that. And we want to learn from it. We want to learn from the experience of doing this partnership with UI Health so that we can be better equipped to do something as big as this someplace else.
Wonderful. I love it. I really, really do. Give us the who, what, when, where, and why again of everything so we'll know the walkathon. When is it again?
The walk is on Sunday, May 5th. 7 o'clock is registration, 8 o'clock program, 8:30 is the run. $30 to register. You can register online at wellnesshouse.org. You can help raise money by asking your friends to donate in your honor as you walk, and help us raise money for programs that we do in Hinsdale and at Mile Square and UI Health.
Very good. Now, for those that want to come and be a part of Wellness House, what's the information from Hinsdale and what's the information from Mile Square?
I'm going to give you one place to go, wellnesshouse.org.
Okay.
Start there. Just wellnesshouse.org, and on that website you can find your niche with all the partner sites we have. And if push comes to shove and you feel lost, pick up the phone. The phone number is on there as well, 630-323-5150, and we'll get you what you need.
You do this well now. You really do. It's like you almost know this. You eat, sleep, and breathe it, don't you? You said other than your children you knew. And you are incredible, Jeannie. Yeah. You really are.
Thank you.
Oh, wow. Very good, ladies and gentlemen. Big round of applause. Wellness House, bringing peace, comfort, happiness, and all those wonderful things to those that are, suffering with cancer, whether you're the caregiver, the family member, the children, child, whatever the case may be, is to embrace everybody and make it a better journey. And this is really needed now more than ever. Really it is. Well, thank you so very much.
Thanks for having me, Art.
It's a pleasure. I look forward to talking to you again in the near future.
Okay, me too.
All right, so guess what? We're going to run the break, DJ Flo. We're going to put a little music on. When we come back from break, Uncle Mal and I are going to cut it up a little bit. And then at the 8 o'clock hour, our two favorite female doctors are going to stop by, and we're going to talk about things that every woman needs to know about your health in this day and age. Things have changed quite a bit. Used to be that, breast cancer was number one most talked about thing with women. No, there are other things that women need to know. It's all about your health tonight, ladies. We'll be back in just a moment.